Three matches in the SheBelieves Cup for the Matildas and three losses. There's a lot to talk about following the past week of Matildas matches, heading into this mini tournament, which we're coming up against some fantastic teams. We should not ignore that fact. Some of the top teams in world football, and Australia just didn't match it. In all of the three games, especially the first game against Japan, and there's a lot to sort of come out from this tournament in terms of what it looks like going forward in terms of the head coach role for the Matildas. We know Tom Samani's in on sort of a temporary role, and in terms of the playing squad overall, like, do we need to see something different in terms of the direction of going, the tactics that we're playing, formation? Is it just personnel? There is so much to talk about. I'd love to hear from you guys as well. So feel free to drop your thoughts on the current situation surrounding the Matildas. Just today, Matildas finishing off with a 2-1 loss to Colombia. Colombia, they were very impressive in the Women's World Cup a couple of years ago. I remember watching them, and they were a really, really fun team to watch. And they probably deserved the win in the end. Again, a bit more of an even match compared to the other matches. But you look at the stats here first of all, and just the one shot on target for the Matildas. I think the one thing that became apparent to us across all three of these games is really Australia struggled to create quality chances. Our chance creation was just so poor. Overall, in the second and third game, again, against USA Colombia, we were competitive. The first game in Japan, we just weren't in it at all. And I think the concerning thing, to the fact that these results are indeed so concerning, is because we were playing such a strong team. And you look at the 11 that we played against Colombia here. Look, Carpenter, Hunt, Catley, obviously these are experienced players. Rasso, Gorry, Van Egmond in midfield. Yalp is there as well. Cooney Cross, Heyman, Charlie Grant in at left back, who I thought was actually putting a really, really good shift today as well. I mean, so many experienced players in that lineup with so many caps combined between all those players, and we weren't able to I guess, control large passages of the game. We weren't able to, create promising opportunities, and Colombia just got the better of us in the end. And I mean, it was a similar lineup for all three of the games. And I think one point we can bring up is maybe, I think in this tournament, look, at the end of the day, they are just basically friendly matches. This was an opportunity, just over a year from the Asian Cup. I think still at this point in time, this is probably the prime sort of moment in time to really experiment with things in terms of player selection. For me, I think if you're like within maybe 6 months of the Asian Cup of a major tournament, that's when you really want to be sort of nailing down your strongest starting 11, get them winning games, building form into that major tournament. And look, we're still, a fair way out. It is March 2026 next year when we are hosting the Asian Cup, a tournament that we are hoping to win on home soil. And at the moment, we are just not looking like we are going to get anywhere near winning the tournament. Honestly, there's a serious chance with the way that we're playing at the moment that we don't even make it out of the group stage, which would be truly astonishing for the Matildas. You look at the bench as well. I mean, I would have loved to have seen more opportunity to the likes of Winona Heatley, Daniela Galic again, Holly McNamara. I mean, it's great to see her back in the Matildas setup as well, back from injury. Lanny Fryer had limited minutes in this tournament as well. So for me, I probably would have liked to see Tom Samani roll the dice a little bit more, use this tournament as an opportunity to integrate some more of those inexperienced players, give them the experience against, again, top opposition here against USA, Japan, and Colombia. It was good to see some players here and there getting some more minutes. Charlie Grant, as mentioned earlier, great to see her playing a full 90 here for Australia against Colombia. But again, would have liked to have seen that more. Another point that we have to talk about, I think, is the goalkeeper position. In that first game against Japan, some uncharacteristic errors from Mackenzie Arnold. And we love Mackenzie Arnold. She's been fantastic for Matildas for some time now. But I think following these two games, I think it is fair to say that Tegan Micah may well be the first choice goalkeeper for Australia going forward. We'd love to hear from you guys on that point. Do you stick with Mackenzie Arnold, who has been so solid and consistent for Australia for many years now, was fantastic in the Women's World Cup a couple of years ago, but Tegan Micah now feels like, I mean, with some of the saves that she made in the last couple of games, man, I mean, we know she started both the games against USA and Colombia with the saves that she made. I think she did enough to show that she is deserving of sort of that starting spot for the Tillies. So that's one, sort of area of discussion. And you could sort of talk about any area of the pitch in terms of whether we need to see things shuffling around. I mean, we love some of these, these experienced players who have been performing so well for Australia for so many years now. Again, bringing up the likes of Emily Van Egmond, Gorry, Yallop, like these are experienced players. But it feels like we maybe just need to start integrating some more of those young players, more so at the moment. Look, we've got a couple of games coming up against South Korea in a couple of months' time at home, and hopefully that's an opportunity for Tom Samani to make some more rotation in the lineup, bring in some more of those younger players, give them the opportunity to show what they have, because we know this sort of, I guess, this second sort of string of players, the second team of Matildas players. There's some really, really talented players in that cohort, on that substitute bench, that I think maybe deserve to be getting some minutes ahead of these players who've been starting in this tournament. And I think we could say now, especially with the Asian Cup in a year's time, a tournament that we really, really want to win, we need to win on home soil. It's a huge opportunity for Australia. The number of caps that you have, I don't think earns you a place in the squad anymore. I'd really love to see some more experimentation, some more shaking up of the players, because again, you look at the team that we had, and just going back to that statistic in this match specifically, the 9 shots and just the 1 on target, and possession was pretty even for much of the game. It was relatively even, and we did put in a strong performance, I think, when it came to competing with Colombia and some of the challenges, but it just came unstuck too many times going forward in the front third. So plenty of concerns, I think, coming out of this tournament. I mean, we round out the map, the tournament, finishing last in the group, the Japan game and USA game still yet to be played at the time of this recording, but it's not good viewing, is it? I mean, 3 losses, 2 scored, and 8 conceded across 3 games. Yes, we came up against some of the top teams in the world, but there's no reason why Australia shouldn't be, one of those top footballing nations, competing with those other teams that we came up in this tournament. But it was. We have to take the lessons. We have to learn the lessons from this tournament, and I think we've learned that we still have some way to go to compete with the top teams in world football. This is still a very, very talented group of players. It's hard to sort of put your finger on where it's sort of going wrong at the moment. And I think the other thing I'll just finish off on is saying that we need to find a permanent head coach ASAP. I think it's been confirmed that Tom Samani will be in charge for the South Korea games in April, but for me, it's been too long, man. I mean, it was, after the Olympics last year is when we parted way with Tony Gustafsson and Football Australia. So they're sort of going to take some time to, take the right approach and find the right person to lead this team forward. It's been too long, man. It's been too long. It's been so many months now. And a year out from the Asian Cup, we need, a strong head coach to come in and, implement their philosophies, implement their tactics, their playing style on this group. And it needs to start happening now, a year out from the Asian Cup. You're running out of time. You don't want to bring in a head coach, with just months out from the Asian Cup. You want to give them that time to prepare, to gel with the players, so that we can hopefully have a successful tournament. Drop your thoughts on the current Matilda situation in the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys as always, and make sure to stay subscribed to the channel here to keep up to Australian football talk right here with me, Lockie. Thanks very much for tuning in. Hit the like button on the way out, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.